Big V TV. Great to have you with us for a Wednesday night, middle of the week, heading towards round 13. And just to reiterate, Steve and Craig are with me, just to reiterate something we spoke about the last couple of nights. Some of our divisions have 6 rounds remaining, some have 4 rounds remaining, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, do you want to just let everyone know that?
Yep, some of our divisions have 6 rounds remaining. Thanks very much. Others have 4 rounds
I think it's
remaining.
the VYC men and women and the Youth League 1 and 2 men each have 4 rounds remaining. Everyone else has 6, correct? Yep. Just had a couple of questions, that's all. So getting on top of that, now tonight, I love this time of the season, the most underrated players of season 2018 Big V. Most underrated players.
The unheralded stars that all their teammates love.
Yes, and I've been given the additional task tonight of the most underrated players all time, Big V.
Once again, he says getting given, but he sat down and said, I've got a special for you guys tonight.
Looking forward to it. I'll tell you what, we've got a big show coming up tomorrow night.
I'll take that back to Youth League 2 men have 18 rounds.
Oh, right, thanks very much for steering me down the wrong path. Hey, we've got a really big show coming up tomorrow, and I'll let you know a little bit later on what we're doing. We're going to have a lot of viewers on Big V TV tomorrow night.
We've also got some video footage from before today's show.
No, we have not. Don't be stupid. Don't be stupid, Craig. Don't be stupid. Now listen.
Some behind the scenes.
What happens off air stays off air. Now listen, just looking ahead, can I tell people about that? Can I do it?
Absolutely.
Looking
We've
ahead.
Locked it in.
It's locked in.
It's locked in.
July 9 to 13 is Manny's week. And we're only talking about one man. Manny Hendricks.
The guitar man.
The guitar. He's going to be on the show every night that week, is he?
Every night.
Working
5:30
overtime.
PM. He's working overtime for us.
Wow.
Some very special stuff in the pipeline. Hashtag Manny Week.
If you haven't seen any of the old Manny's World footage, jump on YouTube.
There's a bit of a
It is, so there's some incredible stuff. I'm sure, I'm going to throw one of the bus bit here, but Steve will be putting something up as previews, I assure you.
Is Sniffles getting that week off, or?
No.
He's going to be around. You're going to be around that
I've
week?
got tomorrow.
Oh, right. Yeah, of course you have. Okay, so tonight, underrated players season 2018. We've gone with top 3 men, top 3 women, no particular order. We've each done our own lists.
Yep.
Who's going first?
You can go.
Well, I've got all time as well. Do I leave that till the end?
Maybe you're last then.
Okay, I'll go last.
I'll kick off then.
Okay, here we go.
Start with the women. There's my top 3 on screen now.
Talk us through it.
With Bronte Clark from Mildura. There's been a heap of talent
Long time she's been
out at Mildura that we know of,
Yes.
but they seem to get all the credit. Bronte Clark
Yep.
has been a consistent performer over a number of years. Currently this year, just under 10 points per game at 40%. But certainly, she doesn't get the praise she deserves, especially in metropolitan Melbourne.
When you talk Mildura, you talk a gun with a gun, Vanessa Power. It's always the import, no matter it's Gassion this year, and probably Del Castagna. Steve, that is a very, very good nomination.
My second one is Amy Baum from the Dandenong Rangers, Youth League star. Just returned from injury this year, and I think it's really shown in Dandenong's set up this season. Obviously, they started off with the opening 8 or 9 games they lost. 10.5 points, 5.5 assists since returning. She's only played the 4 games, but certainly one on the rise and doesn't get enough credit that she deserves.
She's a Baum fan, we know that.
The final one is another youth star, but does play a handful of minutes in the seniors. She's from Ringwood, Nihara Ravikuma. Can dominate the youth league competition when she's on song, but certainly a 2-way player in champ that's on the rise.
Yes, I like Nahara. Very well done. Craig, your top 3, no particular order, underrated players 2018 in the women's competition.
Yep, and I'm starting off, my players up on screen, starting off in state champ women, Renee Mokazicki from Waverley. Absolute star. Versatile, can do it all on both ends of the floor, crazy efficient, shoots over 50% from the field, I think. One of the hardest players that I've heard coaches say they have to guard, and they don't know really how to match up with her. And I think she might not score as much as some of the other players in the league, but is one of the best players in the league, in my opinion.
Former Casey Junior, of course, as well. So I like that.
Then I'm staying in state champ women with Lucy Dawson on a super talented Knox team. Someone who doesn't score as much as some of the other players on her team, but good rebounder, great defender, does everything that you need, a great leader, a lawyer. Is that what?
Yes.
A lawyer, as you always say.
Yes.
But just a great leader and does everything that the team needs. And then finishing off, Emily Actor at Sunbury.
The actor.
Underrated. That player doesn't score as much, but Good defender, good both ends of the floor, and Steve only talked about one player from Sunbury, so of course she's underrated.
The Academy Award winner, the actor. All right, very well done. Here's my top three in no particular order. Underrated players from season 2018, and you guys have stolen a little bit of my thunder because I too have gone with Mocky. I think Renee Mokazicki is having a wonderful season for Waverley. I think when teams go in against Waverley, they're looking at matchups for Cunningham, for Bowen. Mokazicki has absolutely flown under the radar there, and she's a very underrated player. She's having a wonderful season. I think she was on my list last season. She's on my list again this season. Lucy Dawson, the lawyer from Knox, she's the skipper out there. And again, I think there's, Beck Ott, obviously Carly Miovic. There's other players that you instantly think of, and Lucy Dawson is just totally underrated and has been for years. And I've also gone with you, Steve-O, Bronte Clark. Oh, that's a very, very good get from you because you're not an intelligent man. That's a very good get.
Justin just not done a list and copied us.
I think it's the other way around.
Wow. Well, you walked in last, so that couldn't be the case.
Bronte Clark has been underrated at Mildura for years, a long, long time. That's a very, very good get. Now, my all-time underrated player in Big V women, all-time, is Tickle Me Elso. Emma Coyne played at Werribee and Altona. These days married, these days in Elso. She's a Tickle Me Elso. Emma Coyne, more than 300 games, totally underrated. She was a star of this competition. Could play well offensively when she needed to. A terrific distributor, brought other players into the game. Was a very, very fierce defender. And so many times in those big years for Altona and Werribee where they won some championships, there would always be matchups and eyes on other players, and she would fly under the radar. Incredibly underrated talent. As I said, more than 300 games, did it for years and years and years. Tickle Me Also. Emma Coyne is my all-time underrated women's player in the Big V. And I defy anybody to come up with somebody ahead of Tickle Me Also. I defy you, Steve.
Hopefully some people sitting at home can send in their own nominations, but obviously in your opinion,
it's going to be hard to beat.
Won't top.
Underrated, Tickle Me Also, Emma Coyne, it'd be very hard to beat. All right, men, underrated 2018. Who goes first?
Do you want me to kick off it again?
Yep, okay. By all means.
Top three
not have copied me.
Most underrated players in the men. I start off at Ringwood once again, where I left off for the women. Sean Clark.
Clarkie.
15.5 points per game, nearly 9 rebounds, couple of assists, 62% from the field this season.
Is he 62%?
Efficient,
wow.
Effective. He's a no-nonsense bloke on the court. He's great on the low block. There's a ton of contributors out there at Ringwood. Sean Clark gets the nod in my most underrated players this year.
I like it. He's pretty hard to move, Clarkie, too. He's a big boy.
You could almost pick anyone from that starting lineup.
That's true. My second is out at Knox in the same division. Been doing this for a long time.
Oh, I know where he's going.
Hair.
I know where he's going.
Nearly 12 points a game, 4.5 rebounds, nearly 3.5 assists. Shoots it at 45%. Two-way player. He's versatile as well, so he could have been on last week's lists. Can guard a number of positions. Can do it offensively as well. Another one of those no-nonsense guys is Dylan Hare. Number 3 goes to the youth divisions, and I head out to Blackburn.
Blackers.
I believe he's still the captain out at the Blackburn Vikings. That's Tommy Williams.
Ooh.
At the moment, just under 10 points per game, nearly 4.5 assists, 4 rebounds. As I mentioned, the captain leads from the front, can defend really well, just doesn't get the credit he deserves out at Blackburn.
Always talks about Tommy Williams off there, so I'm glad you got him in there. Craig, your most underrated players in the men's competition from season 2018. Here we go.
Starting off, there's one on the board there. Starting off at state champ men with Jack Barry on a much improved, very good Hawthorn team this year, and he's a guy that might slip under the radar a little bit. 13 points a game, 5 assists, 5 rebounds. He's pretty efficient. One of those guys that does everything well and really doesn't take anything away from his team, and he's going to be a superstar in the future.
Have you ever met his mum, Barb?
No, I haven't.
Barb Barry's boy? You never met Barb Barry?
Have you met Barb Barry?
Barb is a legend down there at Hawthorn. That's Barb's boy, Jack. So very good. Yep, next.
Michael Harper from Waverley. There's a lot of superstars on that Waverley team, and Harper's a guy that maybe people don't talk about as much as he deserves to be talked
Very
about.
underrated.
Good ball handler, can shoot, defends, plays both ends of the floor, does everything that they need, fills the gaps, and has been doing it for years now, and going to continue to do it for a number of years to come.
Some exceptional wisdom from you, Craig. Yes.
Wow.
Who else?
And last on my list is a man who has been nicknamed, and this is actually a real nickname, not one that you have made up on the show.
Hello.
Down there at Collingwood, they call this man Salt.
Salt.
Because you can't cook without salt.
Oh, that's not true, is it? Is that true?
This is a dead set.
That's not true.
I'm not joking.
This is
Chuck in the
very-
comments.
Come
This is
on.
100%
Who
true.
said that? Is that Manny Hendricks?
No,
that's made
this
that
has
up?
come from
Yeah.
assistant coach Nima.
Get the
Come.
Collingwood guys on the Facebook
Only-
comments just to
That's
confirm this
ridiculous.
for you.
Kyle
That's
McMullen
ridiculous.
is known as Salt.
He is not. Who's his pepper?
I don't know who the pepper is, but Kyle
Shut
McMullen
Salt.
has started every game for Collingwood. He doesn't score that much, but he's efficient. Went about 2 weeks in a row without missing a shot. I think defends well, just does everything, all the little things they need. And one time he did miss a game, and Kieran, their point guard, actually said on the Thursday night, "What are we going to do without Salt this weekend?"
Come on, seriously.
Speaking of Pepper, isn't Pepper pretty versatile? It can go on a few things. So maybe Jonathan Lindy can be his Pepper.
Salt and pepper.
It's a bit versatile.
This isn't a cooking show, Steve. Now listen,
John Lind is a pale pepper, I'm going to say that.
if that's true, if his nickname is Salt, we're going
It's
to do
Salt.
we're going to do a show in a couple of weeks. The worst nicknames across Big V. That is a terrible nickname. Rightio, good three. Here's my three in no particular order. Brendan Truella from Blackburn.
Very good.
He is just—he's a star. I just don't think he gets the credit that he deserves.
On your list last week.
Very underrated. Well, I had the Truella boys, versatile. Brendan Truella is, in my view, is underrated. He would be a starter at any team in state champ, man. He's a star, Brendan Truella. I'm going out to Camberwell. Heath Hay. Have you ever heard of Heath Hay?
I have heard of.
Have you heard of Heath Hay?
I have heard of Heath Hay.
Heath Hay, what he has done at Camberwell over the years, he is an unbelievably underrated player, Heath Hay. Gets the hardest matchup every game. Just gets out there, he's a team player, does everything he can for the team. Heath Hay, you're underrated, and I don't think enough people value what you do outside of the group at Camberwell.
Yes.
He's a star, Heath Hay. Been doing it for years, and I've gone with you, Craig. Michael Harper is unbelievably underrated, and I agree. He's going to continue doing what he does for years into the future for Waverley. They're very lucky to have him. Incredibly underrated.
Pretty young guy, isn't he?
Yes, yeah, and he's versatile as well. So I've gone Brendan Trell of Blackburn, Heath Hay Camberwell, and Michael Harper Waverley as my underrated players of 2018. My all-time, and again a little bit like Tickle Me also, I defy anybody to dispute this. Big swinging Willie Weimer from Ringwood. Big
Very
swinging
good
Willie, more than 300 games. You think about all the stars that have played for the Hawks over the last decade, and this guy here just flew under the radar week in, week out. He was the skipper for a long time, would just play his role, do his job, and he would just incredibly good at bobbing up at the right time, either with a defensive stop or a big three, lay up to the basket. He just had the ability to just zip under the radar all the time with those stars around. Big swinging Willie Weimer is my all-time underrated player in Big V, and again, I defy anybody to dispute that.
Well said.
Okay,
Beautiful.
fantastic. All right, now coming up tomorrow night, this is going to be fun.
You've propped this one up.
It's going to be fun.
Before we started tonight's show, or
We've
at the
got
top
some
of
behind-the-scenes
tonight's show,
footage.
We're going to disappoint. We're going to disappoint some people tomorrow night.
I think you've just hyped this up a little bit too much,
No,
but
it's good. I'm
it's
looking
still
forward to
a
it.
very good episode to come tomorrow
Well,
night.
what are we doing tomorrow night?
Well, is it the last decade?
The last decade, the top 10.
10.
The top 10, you've got your 10, you've got your 10, I've got my 10. We've all got to create our own list. Top 10 coaches
Wow.
of the last decade in the Big V.
That's going to require a bit of research.
Top 10 from the last
I could
10.
have
That's
a
what we're
short
looking
list
for.
of 55.
Well, it's going to be. I'll tell you what. There's going to be some people that miss out who are going to be incredibly disappointed and angry. Top 10 from the last
How
10.
many times are you allowed to write Justin Nelson on your own list?
No, I promise you I won't vote for myself. I'll keep my list to 9. Am I allowed to do that? Top 10 from the last 10.
You're going to take out number 1?
It's coming out. I'm going to start from number 2. That's coming up tomorrow night. Looking forward to that. Back here Friday talking all things round 13. And don't forget, July 9 to 13 is Manny's week on Big VTV. That's going to be spectacular. See you tomorrow night. Top 10 coaches from the last decade. We're going to have some fun with that on Big VTV. 5:30 tomorrow night. We'll see you then.